As I tried to explain to him, I was working as your executive assistant all that time. There wasn't nothing in this book to say that in that moment when you and Barry was laid up playing housey poo in the bed, that you were helping to be his executive assistant. I mean, you could have been the executive assistant to sucking his dick. Well, hello there, little bugs. Hello there, bellas. If you have not already done so, please remember to like, share the Facebook, subscribe, and visit uptopbeauty.com. We do have our gold hearts in now. So the ones that have pre-ordered them already, they are in the mail. I only have 2 more left. So if you want them, you better go run and get them now. Also, we still have plenty of cold weather turbans, and as usual, you will receive a free gift. It was the greatest risk I'd ever taken. My tiny voice, my broken sentences, those words now dangling in mid-air, up in uncertain darkness of the room. My heart was pounding. What had I done? Yeah, bitch, what had you done? And then I heard the glorious sound of his soft voice. As if in the middle of a fall, I'd been caught by his strength and his certainty. Yes, he began. Why don't you go back to your house for the time being? I understand that you need to be with the kids. I'll think about what you said and I'll get back to you. You gonna get back to me and my love? I don't give a mother look. Any of my exes will tell you, man, if you break my heart and I get over you, the last thing you can do to me is let me get over you. You break my heart, you let me get over you. I get myself back together. I got my swag back, and then you think you're just gonna walk up to me and be like, Nay, I loved you, I made a mistake, I want you back. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck if you want me back. You better go find Keisha and go back to her. Of all the ups and downs I'd encountered in my life, I was about to plummet to deeper depths that I'd ever thought possible. Listen, I want you to go with me to Hef's. That would be the Hugh, the Hefner, okay? Barry said, not wanting me to be out of his sight for a moment. I protested, insisting that I didn't play that game, nor did I think I would be comfortable mingling with all those bunnies. Oh, bitch, you ain't the only person that done been there with his wife or girlfriend. I don't know about ex-wife, but girl, what you think? You the only woman that go through there with that mess? At the opulent, sprawling estate, we wandered through the game room, which conjured up images of ancient Greco-Roman days. Hey, Barry, Hefner called over to us. How are you? Barry began shaking hands with a small group of men surrounding Hef, as I saw our host giving me an approving eye. So you thought, oh, Hef, this is Ray, my ex-wife, Barry said, as Hefner and I both extended our hands. Just as our handshake began, Barry added, she may be ugly, but she's smart. was on the following day that Barry, in an act of generosity and concern, had plunked down $12,000 for me to undergo a dental treatment that I sorely neglected for lack of funds. She says she neglected her mouth, okay? And you never know what a person is not choosing you for, okay? In their mind, they could be with you for years, okay? And not even tell you, ooh, I think you stink, okay? Or, ooh, your mouth is so raggedy, okay? Like, I'm telling you, when you talk to your partners about your exes, sometimes a lot of time they be like, ooh, I did not like the fact that, you know, her breath was stinking all the time, you know, or something like that. Like, and you know, another sidebar, like when I had braces, that was like the worst time of my life, because when you have braces, that brace breath be something terrible, okay? But you know, the finished product was amazing. The fact that he gave her like $12,000 in 1970, bitch. How much work did you need? You hear me? 12,000. How much was it? 12,000, bitch. How much did you need a new mouth? Did he need to like do your whole face? So now she done been to the dentist. She getting all this work done on her mouth. $12,000 worth of work on her mouth. I don't know what the hell that is. Okay, $12,000 in the 70s on mouth? Man, get the fuck out of here, bruh. I don't know. Maybe he wanted you to get some face work done too, Sugar Ray. Anyway, she's going to the dentist and she's getting a lot of work done on her mouth. Okay, now she's dealing with painkillers. All right, and because she can't eat the way she wants to eat, her weight then plummeted to 75 pounds. She ain't nothing but 95 cents already. She's not a big girl, right? Gordy, I ain't never seen her with no thick ass bra. You know, Dinah Ross was very small. Sugar Ray was very small. Remember, he called Susan DePassy a gorilla because she was thick but beautiful. My weight plunged to a frightening 78 pounds, and I landed in the hospital for 2 weeks. There it was, determined that I was suffering from malnutrition. Released from the hospital with a prescription for a very addictive painkiller, my physical condition only spiraled downward as the vomiting and nausea increased. My emotions were so out of whack that I found myself, over a small misunderstanding, having parted ways with Vanita. That would be her assistant. Oh, your emotion, that what it was they had your ass on them perks, okay? And as we know, when them people be wanting them perks and they can't get no more, they be getting grumpy, okay? They will cuss their mammy out on that bullshit, okay? Man, them perks ass old. Do me a favor, my doctor warned at last. Stop the medication and just deal with the pain. So I did. Although my condition would last 6 months, and all the while I clutched to the life raft of hope that Barry had inflated for me. We were going to be together again, and soon I would return to work as co-skipper at the helm of the good ship Motown. Is this bitch crazy? I said it before. A lot of us in the comments have said it, that we do believe that Sugar Ray had some kind of mental health concerns. We do believe that, no doubt about it. You know, the love is a many splendid thing, and it will make you stupid. But I don't know if love will make you this stupid for that long. You're fired. What are you talking about? I asked. You haven't been here in 5 months. I can't have people popping in and out when they want to. Wait a minute, I reminded him. You know that I was with Barry that whole time. No. Just because you was laying up under Barry, it don't mean that you're not supposed to go to work every day. You know that. And on top of that, remember when Barry the Gordy sent you back home to take care of the kids? What was you doing in that meantime, girlfriend? I mean, yeah, that's why I say the girl be a little off with her take on life sometimes. Knowing that Barry was in my corner, I called him up. How did you know that Barry was in your corner? Listen, your brother just called and fired me because I wasn't in the office. As I tried to explain to him, I was working as your executive assistant all that time. There wasn't nothing in this book to say that in that moment when you and Barry was laid up playing housey poo in the bed, that you were helping to be his executive assistant. I mean, you could have been the executive assistant to sucking his dick. I know, said Barry. Were you at Jobette? How could I be at Jobette when I was with you? That was a test. He wanted to know if you were so sprung over him, would you neglect your duties at Jobette? And you did. Okay? So that's the weakness that he sees in you. Okay? Diana Ross, yeah, she might have had bad nerves, but that bitch would get out there and work. Okay? All right. Robert fired you. Yes, I answered, waiting for Barry's master strategy on how to right this wrong. Well, he decided there's nothing I can do about it. You should have been at work. I'm out of a lofty dream, living in Bel Air with a man whom I loved and no longer feared. I fell, like being shoved out of an airliner speeding through the clouds. I tumbled down without a parachute. From the vantage point of my spiritual and financial crash landing, I looked back up at Barry. He, that demigod who with one hand giveth, hath now with the other hand taken away. I should have known better. What idiot would place her trust in a man with a track record like Barry's? My belief in an impossible love was my only excuse. Whatever the case was, I had to drag myself out of my sick bed to stand in line at the unemployment office. Finally, I would have took a handout from a dog before I would have went back to the Barry Gordy or depended on anything he said. Girl, I would have took handout from the crows. Never. Girl, all of the things that are happening to you now at this point is all your fault, Sugar Ray. Thank you for this book. It was very enlightening. It was from your perspective, but I kind of see why Barry Gordy didn't do too much mentioning of you, because I think he thought that you was crazy. I think he thought that you was weak. You was crazy. But when it came down to music, you were awesome. Whatever the case was, I had to drag myself out of the sickbed to stand in line at the unemployment office. I had no money to support my family and no job. And that old pride of mine prevented me from turning to anyone for a loan. On the way home from the humiliating experience of signing up for a weekly pittance, $122, something quite mystical occurred, okay? So anyway, she's in her car. She sees this beautiful woman in a stretch limousine, and she's wondering to herself, how could I go from being this high-ranking person at Motown or Jobette or whatever, task Barry the Gordy has her on, to now I'm standing in line at the unemployment office. Girl, it happens to all of us. It happens to all of us. As long as you're working for somebody else's dream, what I tell you, you never get too comfortable in somebody else's dream, okay? Never, never, never. And that's what she did, okay? And that's why she found herself down there at the unemployment line. I mean, God, girl, you didn't believe in stocks and bonds? You didn't believe in investing? They ain't had no Wall Street back then? They ain't had nothing, girl. All you depended on was the Barry. While she's seeing this woman, she's dealing with self-pity, right? And then all of a sudden she just gets this bright idea. Wait a minute, I got these two younger kids that are amazing. She had this connection with this talent agency, right? The dude who was affiliated with it was the Tony Kelman Commercial Talent Agency, all right? So she got Eddie, who is now 11, and Raya, who is about 10. After registering them with the agency, the phone began to ring immediately. Audition after audition, callback after callback, from once to twice to every evening of the week. Soon they were sick of seeing me outside of school when they walked out. Oh no, we're going to an audition? That year, the two did 24 commercials, and it soon spilled over into actual acting jobs. Little Lulu, an ABC after school special, and Cindy, another special with Nell Carter, as well as Happy Days and Different Strokes, and a Richard Pryor special and his movie Blue Collar. My two little champions were unstoppable as each tried to outdo the other. Okay, right quick, what an after school special is, it was a time that when you got home from school, there was a after school special that would come on, pretty much ABC, that would do things that would be catered towards the children, and the sign of the times for the youth. And it always had some kind of message. So like right now, with the pandemic going on, there would definitely be an after school special that was catered towards talking to the children in their language about the sign of the times. So after thousands had competed for the role, Eddie had been selected. I stood at the sidelines shaking my pom-poms and cheering while the little guy went running into the television series called Harris and Company, starring Bernie Casey. It was an optimistic show about a black man raising 5 kids on his own. What a miraculous turnaround in our lives, I thought. And what an amazing trooper Eddie was, basically supporting the household, hopping in the car with me to get the Universal Studios at 6 a.m. and skipping out in the evening at 7 p.m. when I came to pick him up. Although it was a terrific experience, I was actually relieved when the series was canceled and he could return to his normal life of school and play. I decided to end their acting careers for the time being, and Raya and Eddie agreed. Yeah, no more auditions, Mom. I'd been avoiding Barry like the plague for well over a year. And suddenly, in one of those crazy showbiz turnarounds, I was being beckoned back to work at Motown. Have not already done so, please remember to like, share the Facebook, subscribe, and visit uptopbeauty.com. Now remember this, the same people that you meet on the way up will always be the same people that you meet on the way down. My naysayers, my patron loves. You babies, have a good one.